Recently I had a conversation with a real medium who, according to him, is able to leave his physical body and travel to another world. During the conversation, he briefly told me what the afterlife is like, which he saw, how it differs from the physical world, and about several of its features. In the conversation, the medium stated that the afterlife is not as different from the physical world as we imagine. The medium began his story by describing the method by which he manages to leave his physical body. He discovered this talent at the age of 10, and by itself. The medium, whose name is Alex, called his method a deep state of trance, when he concentrates strongly on himself, then turns off the flow of thoughts, and after that a feeling of unprecedented lightness comes and the soul leaves the physical body. As a child, he managed to do this for the first time at night when he was getting ready for bed, and in the following years the gift was strengthened with the help of special methods and training, thanks to which his soul was able to stay outside the body for a long time. In a conversation with me, Alex said that we have a very poor idea of the afterlife. Many people mistakenly consider it almost unreal, although in fact it is much more real than we imagine. In fact, the afterlife can be considered as realistic as our physical world, because when you enter it in the form of a soul, you feel its existence almost the same way as you feel the physical world now. The statement about the shape and gender of the soul was shocking. Alex said that the soul, when leaving the body, repeats the exact shape of the physical shell, including gender. However, he is not sure whether this is a fundamental law for the whole world or whether over time the shape of the soul can be changed at will. But in his case, the soul repeated the shape of the body and did not change in any other way. But in that afterlife, the repetition of the form does not mean anything. In that world, the soul does not need food or sleep, even breathing can be stopped without consequences. Alex suggested that many reflexes appear due to long-term use of the physical body, but as soon as you spend enough time in another world, everything will soon change. And if you are hoping for some miracles in the afterlife, do not rush. There is even a law of gravity and preservation of the shape of objects. They can even be called real or physical, since the soul can touch and interact with them, just like in the ordinary world. It is also worth highlighting the strangeness of the afterlife, the complete absence of life. To be more precise, the medium did not meet a single creature during many years of traveling through the afterlife. In theory, God or mysterious energy entities should hide there, or at least other people, but the afterlife is a deserted place. For this reason, the medium stopped visiting it so often, because the afterlife is incredibly large and deserted. And an even greater mystery is the presence of some buildings. Alex said that he managed to see several small pyramids there, but he could only examine them from afar and move on. Although in the spiritual world you can come into contact with other objects, they cannot be damaged or moved. This only applies to man-made objects. Why such rules apply there, the medium does not know, and no one has been able to explain them, because the afterlife is always empty when he visits. Over the years, the medium has developed an idea about causal connections and the empty world when he appears there. This may be due to the fact that he has not completely died and the soul is still connected to the body. This is only Alex's opinion, so you should not take it as truth, but you should not neglect it either, because he probably has a lot of knowledge about the afterlife. Although there are not many fantastic moments in the medium's story about another world, there is one truly mysterious feature among them. The afterlife is an endless wasteland, and the basis is a rocky landscape. No bright sky, green grass, or beautiful rivers, only solid monotonous stones for thousands of kilometers around. But the main mystery of that world is hidden in the sky. For some reason, the sky in the afterlife is divided into two parts. One part is almost completely white, but the other, on the contrary, represents absolute darkness. For some unknown reason, Alex always appears on the light side and has dreamed of reaching the darkness for many years, but he has never managed to do so. After decades, he had the impression that the sky was moving with him, because he had not even come close to its dark half. The medium suggested that this might be somehow connected with religious heaven and hell, but he was unable to verify this for the reasons stated above. Then Alex stated that over time, his interest in the dark side had waned, and thoughts of the mysterious darkness began to terrify him. Therefore, in his next travels, he will not try to go that way. Alex also said that there is no levitation in the afterlife. Just regular walking on your two legs, the only difference is the lack of fatigue. But there is a feeling of levitation when leaving the body, when the soul leaves it and breaks through the barrier of the afterlife. By the way, the medium leaves the afterlife in the same way as he enters it. He just concentrates for some time, and after that the soul begins to be attracted to his physical body. This is what his travels look like. One can only guess what kind of world this is. And why do different people who had to visit the afterlife and were lucky enough to return back, get different descriptions of this world? Perhaps the ancient truth written in the biblical texts plays a role here, according to your faith, so it will be given to you. Whoever deserved what world after death and believed in, gets there. Although who knows to what extent Alex's world is an afterlife.